What's good, everybody? So, a little bit going on today, and I thought I'd bring somebody on, reached out to me, and kind of long overdue, I would say. Um, so, anyway, I guess in true fashion, here's a little intro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Scrypt Skynet and dinner.
Yeah.
What's good, man? How you been?
I've been good. Yeah,
Cool.
doing well.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
I'm eating my dinner.
We've missed you. There's a bit of a lag. I'm sorry. We've missed you out here, but hopefully now I think I've got this together a little bit to have a platform where different people can come on and discuss all kinds of different stuff, from DigiByte to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I'm basically in my house just chilling, eating my salmon bowl. I was eating
Salmon, okay.
Yeah. Yep. Vegetables. In fact, I eat it every night. Unless if it's chicken.
Well, that's healthy.
Yeah, they say.
So I went ahead and I pulled up the chart of DigiByte, and let me try to get in a little bit. I went to the wrong one. So this is just me personally. None of this is advice in any way, shape, or form. But I missed this little dip here when it dipped down to 0.008. My intention was to buy that dip, but I set a limit buy order in at 0.0075. I was expecting it to come back up really a little higher than what it did, and then I was going to sell and then try to trade this up and down movement a little bit. But now I'm to a point where I don't know if because I was looking at this as like left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then I went to in inverse head and shoulders to left shoulder, head, right shoulder. But I think it's more just price discovery right now. I left my limit buy order in at 0.0075. Current price is at 0.0109. So I don't know if it's going to come back and retrace, but at the same time, I don't think that we're done out of this downward movement. That's just my personal thought. Right now, anything around 1 cent, in my opinion, is an excellent buying opportunity. I always say that, anyone who tells you they can predict the highs and the lows, just run. You can come close, but charting is more of a guesstimate, percentage that it will go to the upside or will go to the downside. But right now, I'm just completely undecided. So,
well, knowing that it's paired to BTC, if Bitcoin goes down, then obviously this thing might go down because it's paired to it. So, I mean, just looking at the trend going down, it wouldn't surprise me at all if it continues to go down until we start seeing a curve or a double bottom for Bitcoin.
right, let me pull that up. Pull up the Bitcoin chart.
But you're right. It's crazy not to buy at these levels anyway. So this is the time to buy.
Well, and exactly the same, really, in Bitcoin. This is the 1 year chart in Bitcoin. I guess I should show that first in DigiByte. I'm also practicing moving around a little bit in here. But if I go to the 1 year chart of DigiByte, the current price in the last year has not even come close to that low that's at the far right of the screen. So, I mean, if there was a time to buy in the last year, I think the time is now. But, you know, not FOMO or advice, just looking at charts, that's all. So, but kind of the same thing here on the 1 year of Bitcoin. I mean, it came close down here. What was that, 29,000? So, came pretty darn close. Oh, no, wait. It dipped a little lower. It moved. Yeah, 29,002 or 29,300. And the current price of Bitcoin right now is $29,020. So, you know, I do understand that it is a major trading pair, and so is USDT. Like, I use KuCoin, but I just found out through a few other people that some exchanges don't hold what they should, and some are even limiting the amount of withdrawals. So it's like you're buying a derivative and then you have to create a support ticket in order to make a withdrawal to your hardware wallet. So, but yeah, recent dip in Bitcoin dropped down to 26,800 or 26,585. So, and then same pattern. So yeah, it's mimicking that of Bitcoin because of the trading pair. So at this point, I don't know if there's more capitulation out there, or because here's why I use Masari. And I guess I should have gone over this before, but Masari.io shows you the reported market cap and then the real volume on chain. So with Bitcoin right now, market cap that is reported, like on Coin Market Cap, is $553 billion, but the real on-chain volume is $6.5 billion. So that's why I like to look at the real volume, the on-chain volume. So that's how I can tell who's doing what.
Right.
And same thing with DigiByte right now. Reported market cap is 168 million, but the real true on-chain volume is 197 million. So basically the left hand selling to the right hand within the exchange, and then it doesn't go on-chain until it's withdrawn from the exchange. That's when your coins get put onto the blockchain. So I want to stress again, not your keys, not your DigiByte. So, you know, practice safety first. So take ownership of your assets. not just a derivative.
Well, I also look at the daily, you know. And
Yeah, but the daily to me looks like a bunch of noise.
I don't really.
Well, that's the 24-hour volume.
Yeah, the daily.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it tells the story right there where it's heading. I mean, if it's not making, higher highs than the previous high, and it's getting rejected by the previous low, you're probably going to see more downside.
And that's kind of where I'm at, because then I zoom into the 7-day, and just in 7 days, it's come back down to retest this low of 0.0108. And the current price is 1.0108 as well. So it came back down to retest that low. So yeah, in charting, that would be a double bottom. Is that a trend reversal? I don't know. So when they say when in doubt, zoom out. So same thing, I zoom out to the 1 month, and it's a whole lot of jagged different movements.
Well, if you go back to your double bottom scenario, go look at that again. Okay, so technically it wouldn't be a double bottom until it like goes up to past its previous high and it starts turning around, right? So right now it's just support. It's like it's hitting it again.
Right.
And they could go up and get rejected from a previous high, and they can go down and hit it again. And the old saying goes, the more times it touches that direction, the floor either falls through or the ceiling breaks, right? So the more times it hits that level, just like Bitcoin did in 2018, after it pumped really good, it had like this downward wedge, right? And it kept hitting the floor of that wedge until it basically came to a point where it finally broke the floor.
Which, same thing. I zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. So I zoom out to the 1 year, and same thing. It has not hit that level anywhere back here. So that's why that's why I'm more on the side of the price still in a downward movement just over these last 3 months. So that's why I zoom out instead of, I don't try to follow every tick. But if I were looking at this and I saw a double bottom here, I would think that was a trend reversal. But like you said, this is still in a downward movement.
Well, go back, zoom out the yearly. Zoom out in the year. Okay, do it again. Go further out if you can.
That's the 1 year. That's the 1 year. This is all.
Okay. Now, where's the price that it is now? A year and a half ago, yeah.
Yeah, it's back here. And that was the last time we touched this low, was April 13th, 2020. So over 2 years ago.
Man, I remember that. Can you zoom in right there?
I wish I could, but no, it won't let me.
It won't let you zoom in there?
No, I can do it on my end because I use Assistive Technology, but for you, it doesn't show up for you or anyone viewing it.
Okay. So is that before DigiByte went to 0.0043 or 35?
My last major purchase was 0.0035.
0.0035. Yeah, what I'm saying was that price before or after on the chart?
Yeah, it
the
was
current price.
That price was, or the current price where we're touching now was after it dropped down to that major low.
Okay.
So
that's
2 years ago.
All right. I mean, that's where market structure is right there. I mean, we haven't broke it yet, but I mean, I'm leaning, towards if Bitcoin drops another 20%, then it's already, well, it already has a little bit, but I mean, if it drops another 20%, I'm leaning towards a break of market structure like it did before. And that just means it's just going to dip down for, maybe a month or so. And that's the only time that you can grab up DigiByte for the cheap.
Well, that's kind of where I was also, because I was looking at this market cycle with the 4 peaks. And then I go to this market cycle back in 2017, 18-ish with the 4 peaks. And then I take that move that just all of a sudden went down. And where is it? I want to say, it's got to be over here. So just say January of 2019 all the way till was it here? That was really the beginning of the move up, but I'm gonna just call it here. So June 15th of 2020, roughly, just roughly, before that first big peak came in, that was about a year and a half. So that whole time frame, December 2018 to June 2020 is a year and a half. So that's why I was wondering, currently, are we just in this sideways movement?
Not yet. We're not there yet, I believe.
Right, because this break here took about a month and a half. So it was October 22nd to November 26th. So month and a half was what I had measured before. Forgive me, I'm ill-equipped at the moment. I'm just doing this on the fly. But this is what I was looking at before. It was about a month and a half. And then when we finally hit bottom, and then we just traded sideways. Now, yes, we did have it where it dipped all the way down to 0.0029 or something like that. My last major purchase was at 0.0035. That was a major purchase because it was so cheap or so inexpensive. But could we get another dip like this? Absolutely. But I'm saying, as far as time wise, I'm looking at maybe another 3 weeks to play out in this dip here, and then the trade sideways for about a year and a half.
Yeah, I'm looking
before
at
beginning the next cycle.
I'm looking at a year and a half too. I keep telling people, look, the way the market looks right now, and Bitcoin doing its thing, we're looking at a good year and a half to accumulate. And if you're not, and you've been in this space for a while, you're absolutely squandering the opportunity. Because I don't know how many times we've seen this. Based on this cycle, it's past 4 years. You know what I mean? If you've seen Bitcoin and DigiByte and all these cryptos pump like that, and then you've seen this choppy action over the years, and then just flatline, and then fizzling out to hardly nothing. And if you're getting worried, well, maybe I should wait, it's going to go down even further. That's when you stop using logic and start using your gut.
That's emotion, right?
Yeah, sometimes your logic is emotions, right?
I try to take that out of a trade. I mean, I swing trade. but I always maintain a minimum of 50% in my portfolio. I might trade with about 50% of my portfolio, just in case something does happen.
Right.
So like, excuse me, like this cycle here, the same thing. You can look at this whole fractal in here, and then look at this fractal before it.
Yeah, there's no reason to say, oh, that's no evidence or there's no data there. I mean, it's clearly evidence of data of a repeating pattern.
Well, and I was on someone else's channel earlier today, and I was trying to go over this, to basically all the naysayers that, oh, I mean, I've even had people who subscribe to me tell me that they're holding DigiByte, they're hodling DigiByte, which I agree, hodl DigiByte, but also learn patterns in the meantime, because I shared this with the other person earlier today. Back here, when I bought DigiByte at 0.0035 in that ballpark, and then you take this measured move, it went all the way up to, it reports here at 20 cents, okay, but just say 18 cents, because we're not going to sell at the absolute high. But just at 18 cents, that's a 51x. How many other cryptos had a 51x in this last cycle? But then again, take a look at this. Let's go to January 2017. January 1st, 2017, DigiByte was at 0.00025. And then go to December 31st, 2017. December 31st, it was at 7 cents of 2017. That's a 280x. So let's compare that just for a moment, like looking at Bitcoin. So, the big difference here, January 2017, somewhere in here, January 2017, January 1st, it was right at $1,000. And then December 31st, it went to 16,500. Not bad. Not bad at all. I remember it at 16,500. That's a 16.5x of Bitcoin in 2017 that everyone oohs and ahs about. But yet in that same market cycle, DigiByte had a 280x. So, and then here again, in this same cycle, where let's just take the absolute low. Yeah, it was like 3,000 and some change. So let's just go $3,000 roughly, because we're just measuring in dollars. Went from 3,000 to 69,000. Is that a 51x? No. A 51x from 3,000 would be $153,000 Bitcoin. So when other naysayers come out and then they say other things about, DigiByte doesn't move, it outperformed Bitcoin in both market cycles, and I just proved that.
Yeah.
Additionally, what a lot of people don't understand with DigiByte is that, because it is multi-algo, it has 5 mining algorithms. So you have SHA-256, Scrypt, Skynet, you have AutoCrypt, and you also have Qubit. So, but let's just say, off of anyone who accepts Bitcoin and Litecoin, being SHA-256 or Scrypt, with about 5 minutes of code, can immediately accept DigiByte. And I think a lot of people miss that. in that there's the liquidity for when the blocks fill up for Litecoin and Bitcoin. And who can scale? Because DigiByte, the code is different, where the blocks double every other year, which is how you get to 280,000 transactions a second by the year 2035. So minus the 1% halving once a month, whereas Litecoin and Bitcoin have a halving every 4 years. DigiByte basically has a halving once a month. The amount of mining rewards are decreased by 1% every month. So I explain that to people, and then their minds are like blown. And then the 5 algorithms against a 51% attack, I just don't see that as possible, because it must be simultaneous. I mean, now granted, I'm sure that there is some statistical mathematical formula to come up with that. I mean, look at what just happened with Luna, right? They just threw like $500 million to destroy that. So,
well, there also a lot of people get hung up on the fact that instead of, they don't look at percentage gains or percentage losses. What they look at is DigiByte going to $1? It's 21 billion. It's a lot, you know, and it's really just the percent. It's really just the percentage.
Right. If you have a 1x, so if you have 100% return, what's the difference if you have 20% returns when trading, other than capital gains taxes? But but I mean, even for the hodler, you know, to learn to look at cycles, and then to look at charts, and to learn a little more of the charts, you know. And again, here's the 1-year chart of DigiByte. It has not touched where we are in the last year. Can it go lower? Absolutely. And actually, when I take that measured move, whenever I take this measured move down, I personally get, when I subtract that from the current price, I get an absolute low at 0.006. But I'm not trying to call the absolute low. I mean, the math came out to like 0.0054279, something like that. It was just, so I just call it 0.006. Like, it could go lower, because at this point here on the chart, it was fine like that and traded for a good while, but then dipped down lower than that. So
which is the floor. Well, I'm sorry. Can you put it on the log scale on that time frame?
Yeah.
There you go. Now that is the true scale of DigiByte right there over time. Looks pretty fun. It looks fine to me.
Yeah. Yeah, linear scale just shows current USD price, you know, as a trading pair. But this, you know, to show where that is to the very end, where we are here now, compared to that.
Market structure. Right. So if it goes below that, then it broke market structure. And I don't think it will. I mean, not based on this chart here. Because even if Bitcoin drops 20%, DigiByte won't break that market structure, not its previous market structure.
I honestly do not see it dipping down in price below that.
If it did, then in my perspective, and this This is just me. I'm not speaking for everybody that's, listening to this and saying, oh no, Scrypt said this, because I don't know. But for me, if it does dip below that and we go back down to 0.0000, then for me, it's a great buying opportunity, but we're looking at a lot further downside. We're looking at a whole different market for DigiByte. But I don't think it will be like not when you have DigiAssetX on the rise, NFTs in that marketplace for DigiByte, and then you have all the security protocols in place, and not to mention it can be delivered in half a second from crypto wallet to crypto wallet, and just so much support and backing behind it, and the giant community that we have. There's just no way that and the whales. I mean, let's not forget the whales, man.
Right. Because some of those wallets are wild, but what I try to share with other people is it would be kind of fun, kind of cool, to show, your wallet, I guess, for, just to look at it maybe on the website, which shows the different whale wallets. It might be kind of fun for a day. But at the same time, you have to think about your security in crypto, where, like for me, I don't keep everything in one wallet. I have many wallets just for DigiByte. I have many wallets for every crypto that I hold. In that, if one wallet is compromised, you don't want to lose that many crypto. If that one wallet ever does become compromised from a phishing attack, whatever, key logging, anything like that. So if anything like that were to happen, that's why I don't have one wallet that just shows up on like the top 200 crypto wallets of DigiByte.
Dave, could you imagine that kind of pump right there, that percentage pump right there, when DigiByte gets popular on the log scale? That has not happened yet for DigiByte.
Right.
And that's what people are saying. DigiByte's dead. It's a shit coin, whatever. Woo, woo, woo. But, it's happened for hundreds and hundreds of other cryptos. Maybe you can call that back there, way back there, back in 2015? What is that?
17.
Okay. Yeah, in 2017, it pumped pretty hard twice like that. Look at that. That's the first one and the second one.
Yeah.
The first one was gigantic. And so I'm just based on the development and the people that are leading it and backing it, the community support. I'm expecting one of those again.
A lot can happen, especially when people realize, how can I say this? For me personally, Bitcoin is not Bitcoin of 2014 when I first got into crypto.
Right.
And it is not being used as what it was intended to be.
Yeah, the original ethos.
A peer-to-peer internet cash or internet currency. And now it has morphed into a store of value, which is never what it was supposed to be. If that's its use case now, then that's its use case.
Do you think it's because of all of the cryptos that were birthed from the halvings?
But what I don't understand, what people don't grasp, the disconnect there is that many different people came into the Bitcoin forums back in the day, and they would offer an idea, and they were immediately shunned, immediately kicked out. Jared Tate being one of them. for trying to offer a different idea, because this is all just computer science. This is all an experiment, really. But when you look at what has been developed from all of those forks, why did they fork? Who all forked? And who has DigiByte helped out of those forks?
Right.
So a lot of people totally don't grasp that the technology that DigiByte offers was actually used to fix many other blockchains. Doge today would not be here if it was not for DigiByte. You know, many others, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Verge, many would not, I mean, had issues. And what a lot of people don't realize is that DigiByte being a forward-thinking project, okay, DigiByte has already worked the code out many years into the future. Many other coins will fail. They are going to reach a critical error. And depending upon what they do, depends on whether they succeed or fail. They'll reach a critical syntax error at that moment. Now, currently, there are a few issues. There's always issues in software. But those issues have been worked out with Yoshi and whatnot. It is over 98% complete. Version 8.22 is soon to release. And on top of that, now we even have basically a test net for DigiByte, to where before code is implemented on the DigiByte blockchain, now we can test it in real time to see what other bugs come about because of this new update. So a lot is soon to happen as far as the development, the technology behind DigiByte, what we're able to do. But I would implore others who are looking at Bitcoin and Litecoin, look at all of the different forks of Bitcoin and look at what has been built, not just my coin is the ultimate coin. I see this more as an ecosystem where different things are going to work together. And that's why I say that DigiByte is a scalable proof of work solution. I mean, it's much more than a currency, but it does currency extremely well and extremely fast.
Oh yeah. So we're going to have to take a little break, maybe 2 minutes. I just need to use the little boys' room.
Okay, let me get back in here for a sec.
All right.
I need to do the same. So I'm going to go full screen on the chart. I'm going to mute your mic and mute mine as well, because All right, and we're back.
We're back. What happened? What was that? It looked like the end.
No. That's just sharing a bunch of different links and whatnot that I put together.
That was cool.
So I've been working on the editing software. The reason why I haven't been able to do any of this is because it's much more difficult for me, and there's no handbook written. I go back to like University of New Orleans. The TRAC program was where I learned how to use a computer without a mouse or a monitor back in 2013. Now I use assistive technology and I've regained some vision in the right eye, but I'm still 20/200 in the right eye, such narrow vision, and I've lost all night vision, peripheral, depth perception. So I'm basically using a zoom text where I can really zoom in to what I'm doing, as well as I'm using a 32-inch monitor on top of that. So I have all of this zoomed in right now at like 400x.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you can really see me there.
Well, when I go back to like that, yeah. So
cool. So what's up? How's it been, man? I know we've been talking, with the other DigiByte community members and Twitter Spaces, and that's where really you catch up with a lot of what's going on, who's who, and who's about it, who's not about it. And yeah, I like the Twitter Spaces. I really do. I mean, if this is like your first time ever watching Blinddave and DigiByte, and I'm on here. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Dave, for having me on, and just being able to be here talking with you on your channel. It's a huge blessing, especially all the things that I've been going through. And
understood. And thank you for reaching back out to me, because, man, a lot of people in the community have been supporting you, and we want you back. We need you back. And lately it's been like no other in the community who brought what you did. So, and I was so wrapped up in trying to learn how to do all of this, I did not know how to do it, and most people don't. I mean, you have to really go dig and dive to try to figure all this stuff out. But now I feel that I have a platform where I can bring other members of the community on to discuss different projects they're working on, different innovations of DigiByte, bring you on, because we've missed you, I enjoy the DigiByte spaces, but it's totally different than having a video where other people can go back in and listen to what was said and go back and forth with. So now I feel it to where, like, I can do so many other things that I haven't brought forth yet. I've spoken with Laura Taylor a few times, as far as like these Twitter spaces. A lot of things are said in these Twitter spaces, and I would really like the opportunity, if those who host the spaces agree, for me to record, and as long as everyone consents to it being a recording, I would like to publish that.
Well, they kind of have to, right? Because Twitter says it's being recorded.
Well, right, because I would love to publish that for other people, even on YouTube, just to listen to all the different things that are being said, because there's so many things. And you just because it is live on YouTube, I mean, just because it's live on Twitter, across the globe, our friends across the pond, they're not able to tune in. It's like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And they can't stay up all night. They have to go to work and whatnot. So why not put a little bit of that out there for other people to be able to catch up on at their leisure. So I think that would be a good service for the community of DigiByte.
You know what I've noticed in like the Twitter spaces, it's almost like a kind of a place where you can let your hair down, kind of like be who you are and and talk to some people and educate and just basically develop friendship. And this is like kind of like a hangout interview or whatever you want to call it. And the thing is like because it is YouTube, we don't have the freedoms so much to say anything.
Well, and that's why I could do a recording of it to publish, and I could go back in and say if someone said one of those words, I could then cut that out. So
what word are you going to cut out?
I'm not going to say it. And don't do it.
But we're not live, so that's cool.
Yeah, I know, but still, it adds more work to go back in and then to try to figure out where it was that it was said.
I don't want
to go back and re-listen to it 3-4 times to make sure you got it out. But yeah, there has not been in the spaces, thankfully, anything that would have to be cut out that was said. You know,
there's a lot said in the spaces. If anybody wants some DigiByte education or some camaraderie or whatever, there's a lot of things that are said in spaces. Sometimes it's an off day or off night, but as long as we're on topic, a lot of times lately, you know, we're still trying to get to know each other. We kind of run off with ideas, but sometimes, man, there's some really good stuff. Good stuff spoken in Twitter spaces.
As well as to like whenever Matthew Cornelius pops in, you know, DigiAssetX.com, he'll just pop in all of a sudden. And if anyone has a question of how it works, like I had many questions when it first launched, you know, from the IPFS servers, where you basically, instead of using a third party of like OpenSea and whatnot, each person around the globe can download a node from DigiAssetX.com and you can run your own node. Well, that is a distributed node across the globe. So instead of it being a centralized server like that of OpenSea or a few others, I'm just saying for instance, then, you know, and Matthew even saw the different vulnerabilities in that early on. That's why he wanted to create something totally different, as well as it is on chain. It is on the DigiByte blockchain through IPFS servers.
My favorite part.
So it is a more decentralized way of having your NFTs, and the cost of entry is so low. You can create your NFT so inexpensively, unlike others, where we go into like Polygon. And yes, with Polygon, yes, you can mint for free. That is true. But when you are compensated for that NFT, you're paid in wrapped Ethereum. So if you ever go to move that, you are still going to have to pay those exorbitant fees of Ethereum when you move the wrapped Ethereum to whatever other currency you want. So people are not exempt and they don't get that yet, I don't think. So yeah, the cost to mint on DigiAssetX.com is so much less in the long run, so much less upfront even. And with more utility, you can do more things with those NFTs. You can do graphics, you can do audio, you can do other things. I want to say it was 80 bytes, something like that. That's the maximum. But you pay for how much of that you use. So it's not like a one price fits all. So if you use it all the way to its maximum, then you will have to pay that amount. Or if you only use half of that, you only pay half of that amount. It's according to the size. So much better, way more decentralized than any other project out here. Now, granted, there is a bit of centralization in it, in that, we don't want, you do have to register as a creator on DigiAssetX.com.
Right.
But the reason for that, the purpose for that, is we don't want pornography NFTs. That has not been a thing yet, but I say yet. It may one day, but we would like to stop that from happening. Same thing with copywritten material or trademarked material. That you cannot do either. You can't take something of Mickey Mouse and make an NFT with it. You can't do that. Or your favorite rap artist.
What intrigues me is you probably could do pornographic NFTs. It's just Matthew would have to censor that, header, right? Instead of showing what the NFT is, it's all censored. Because you could make a business out of anything and create it on the DigiByte blockchain, right? I mean, but I see what you're saying. My concern is for the centralized part is like one of the things that you said, copyrighted material, but or something ripped off, right? Trying to sell it there. But like if you got rug pulled on there, because you could pretty much make your own currency on, on DigiAssets, and you get a rug pull, then that person that rug pulled is turned into the local authorities. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's not decentralized. Well, do you want rug pulls? Like, do you want people to take your money? Are you that dumb? Basically, like, I get it. I totally get it. But a lot of people have this idea that being a decentralized blockchain means that you could be a bad guy and get away with it. And I don't get that. Right.
No, I would say, like when I first entered crypto in 2014, it was basically thought that crypto was a way out of the system. When in actuality, a blockchain, the purpose of a blockchain is to be able to track those blocks all the way back to its inception, from where those came from. So like now they're having some of these different exchanges are preventing now any mixed coins from going onto their exchange. So there are other ways to do different things. I get that. But for a criminal to try to operate on and use any blockchain is stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's
you will be caught. It's a truth protocol, and that's where I completely disagree with the Lightning Network. I will just go ahead and say it. I completely disagree with it. It's only been in discussion and been worked on since 2016, and to take transactions off chain, well, then what's the purpose of the blockchain? I understand that, yes, it can settle up later, but they're having a bunch of issues. I mean, I wish them well. But like we said years ago, with DigiByte, we don't need the Lightning Network for it to operate quickly. That's why I want other people who are already into crypto just to go take a look at digibyte.org. Look at the different things that DigiByte has solved. There are so many other things out there that DigiByte can do so many other things.
That was one of the original conversations that Jared had, with the developers of Bitcoin, was why don't you make bigger blocks and you don't have to worry about, scaling solutions down the road.
Well, yeah, because, that gets back to the transactions per second. I mean, Bitcoin is what, 4? Ethereum's what, 7? Something like that. I mean, roughly, maybe 11 on Ethereum. But yet you go to a proof of work solution with 5 mining algorithms, but the main difference is how you scale to 280,000 transactions per second. So this can be in everyone's wallet on hot wallet on their phone to actually be able to make that purchase if they wish. And anyone who accepts Bitcoin and Litecoin can immediately accept DigiByte with about 5 minutes of code. That's it. So it's a scalable proof of work solution. But the blocks double in size every other year. That's how by 2035 you get to 280,000 transactions a second. What other blockchain out here offers anything of what DigiByte has already built? From Dandelion, Dandelion master IP address. A lot of people don't realize this, but on a transaction hash, I can actually get your IP address from wherever that transaction happened. From that IP address, I can immediately get your GPS coordinates. I got you at that moment. That's the beauty of Dandelion. So, especially for people who are concerned, who have any net worth, that's a big deal, and it will be a huge deal in the future.
Yeah, I likened to that to like emergency calls or emergency messages, where no one can stop or find out where it's going, and you're sending an SOS. That's important. You know what I mean?
And again, other people have come back to me and said, have rebutted with, well, I could just do a VPN and change my IP that way. Yes, that is true, but you cannot erase everything from that. That can still be, you can still dive in a little deeper. It depends on how your restrictions on your VPN. So a lot of that can be bypassed.
Yeah,
I mean, think about it this way. Let's say you want to invest in a ICO. An ICO, yes, you can use a VPN, but it's not like using a VPN back in 2016, 2017 in that whole IPO craze. They have come a long way with being able to determine where that IP address came from. That's also how they can prohibit you in certain areas from being able to invest. So there are new things that have happened. So yes, you can use a VPN in that instance, but it's still not secure, not nearly as secure as Dandelion. And same thing, DigiPasswords, DigiID. DigiID is huge. I mean, the thought that what all of these others are looking for to be able to use blockchain for other things, the DigiID is huge. So is the passwords. So, I mean, how many emails have you had in your life? How many passwords do you have for, in my case, 6 different softwares I have going on at the same time? Wouldn't it be much easier if everything was synced to DigiPasswords and you didn't have to memorize all of these different passwords for everything? There you go. And it changes it within itself. So it's sort of like an alarm system for a car where you press the button and yes, someone else can try to program that same key fob to that alarm system. The chances of you being able to dissect that, I just don't see why.
I would like to see the QR code on the car door, and using your DigiID, scan the QR code with your DigiByte or DigiByte wallet
to pop the door. Yeah,
and you're authenticated. That's you.
Right.
That's your car.
And that's the age in which we're moving.
Yeah.
So many different things are going to work in that way, and
Or
there's
to
just
even
so
start
much.
it. To even start it, you guys screen in every car. I mean, I want it to be where I can put DigiID on that security of that screen, but you'd have to bypass a bunch of security features. But there's got to be a way eventually, or
Yeah.
it's just moving in that direction. But I'm stoked about DigiByte for sure. Been here for a while. A lot's changed in my life, but I'm still here, man. I'm still getting acclimated in my. See, I used to live in a house of 70 people, 70 guys. Now I live in a house of a total of 10. And so there's a lot of like rules of the house,
Right.
Plus I have a roommate, and it is tough getting fully back into what I used to do, especially when my whole life is organized in meetings and all that. So, but it's for the best. And like, for instance, it's getting late, Dave, but like I'm able to jump on here with you and talk about some of the stuff that we love to talk about on YouTube. It's great. It's good to rehash, and iron sharpeneth iron, so to speak, and get it spoken, get it out there. We've been here for a while, and yeah, not everybody in the community or crypto likes to be, put their face on film or on a video. But I'm glad to be here still, and most where you'll find me until I start getting out in my DigiVerse YouTube thing again. You'll find me in Twitter Spaces, the DigiByte Spaces.
And what's your handle on Twitter?
It's Scrypt, and the T on Scrypt, it's SCYPT, capital T 800. So it's like T800.
The Terminator. Cool.
Yeah,
deal.
that's all I'm going by now. Everybody knows me for the T800. But yeah, eventually that's going to have to change, right? Because that's a copyrighted like image. So Scrypt Skynet might be your Scrypt T800. Could be possibly something else down the road. But everybody that follows me or knows me will be notified. But DigiVerse will never go away. It's on YouTube. It's going to take just a little bit more time to, come out and start doing regular videos like what you're doing. But it's kind of cool, like seeing the whole shift, the torch being handed off over to people that are picking up the tab. And that's kind of like what we're all about, right? I mean, think about all the people that was before us that were shining, what I mean? And now they're either in the background or developing or marketing or in the DigiByte awareness team, or just not here anymore, doing other things. Someone's going to have to pick up that DigiTorch and continue on the mission.
Right on. That's where I want to try to focus, is to bring other people out and to give them a voice, to even if they don't want to show their face, I can do that too. So if they just want to have a discussion, same as in here, I'll be able to see the person, but the viewer will then just see an icon, or an avatar at that point. So yeah. I do respect other people's privacy in that way. And we're so glad you came out, and we've missed you for a while, and we can't wait till you're back.
Well, I'm
We
back now.
yeah, but I'm saying where you can broadcast from your server, that sort of thing, and then also host other interviews, and then go back and forth, because we need more people than Blinddave, than Scrypt Skynet, than Gladden TV, than a few other YouTubers to be discussing DigiByte, to explain it, to invite other guests on who maybe have questions about it, and to be able to go back and forth. So I feel that it's very much needed, and I feel that the community is hungry for more DigiByte out here on YouTube and other platforms. So by all means, start a channel, try to learn a little bit here and there of how some of this works, and just every day try to learn something, and to try to get something out there. We need other people to understand that there are issues within crypto, but to look at what has been built, what has been developed, and what are they doing, and look at who is doing what. And I hope you find digibyte.org, and because it is a proof of work, a scalable proof of work solution for the future.
Yeah.
So, man, I've really enjoyed this discussion. I invite you on anytime, dude. We miss you. We love you. We want you to do well. We're rooting for you, and we know it's just a matter of time till Scrypt is back.
It's a matter of time. Well, they say patience is key, right?
Yes. So,
did you know without patience, wisdom is not acquired?
And also that, like, many in my family, they look at me now from crypto, the different things I've been able to accomplish, which no one would have thought. I wouldn't have thought this when I first got into crypto at all. I would never have thought this. But now they just refer to me, even within the family, as lucky. And then you think about what luck really is. And luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So get prepared, do your research, do your due diligence. And then maybe one day you too can be lucky. So
what amen, brother.
Well, Scrypt, I guess I'm gonna end this here. I love you, man. To everyone watching this, we've really enjoyed this, and welcome anyone in the DigiByte community to come on, have a discussion. I can even now do this with, it looks like, the Brady Bunch. I can have up to 10 different guests on at one time.
We'll get the Brady Bunch of the DigiByte family on here.
Right on, dude.
You never know.
So with that, any other closing words you may have?
Yeah, we can do a joke.
Okay,
so why couldn't the doctor kill the hippie?
Oh, wait.
I'm gonna give you 3 seconds, Dave.
I've heard this. I'm sorry, because it was something, man. Hold on. I'm thinking like it was a drag man or something like this.
Because he was too far out, man.
Far out. That's it. Right on. All right, man. Well, I'm not really a joke teller. I don't really have any jokes. Nothing that I can say here. I'll say it that way.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep that clean. All right. Well, to everyone watching, we love you. We'll be back for more. Y'all have a good one. Later.